Hello and welcome to a Topic a Month podcast where we pick a topic a month and split it into weekly segments. This month's topic is religion, just like the last episode, so be wary to the next hour of talking. Remember, this is a heavy topic, but we make no apologies for ideas, and a little back and forth is fair play. With us this evening is my sister-in-law Brianna and her friend Ginka. So, let's dive right in, and who wants to go first? What do you believe?
Ginka first.
Oh,
You have been volunteered,
I have.
thrown under the bus.
What do I believe in? That's just a weird question to ask, I think. Just, like, well, right now what I'm learning in my metaphysics class is creation and, like, chaos and, like, how there was chaos before God made the heavens and the earth. And what gets to me is, like, what was before God, or what is creation, what is this chaos kind of thing. And, like, I've been reading, like, Greek and Christianity and other Greek things, and it's really fascinating. I should have brought in the book.
Well, what do you believe, though? What is your core belief?
I don't really believe in anything.
Okay, so you're basically an open book.
We're just, like, humans. I think it's kind of silly sometimes that we try to, like, say that there is this God, and so we should act this way. I think we need to figure out how to live with each other and then act in a certain way that is respectful and dignified. Also, like, religions are meant for, like, good communities and, like, a strong community. And so, like, if you don't agree with that community, or if you don't feel that strong community, you're not going to believe in anything. And so that's partly, like, where I'm at, too, because, like, I didn't really have that great of a religious experience. And so, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. It is good to know. I'm just moreover curious about what people believe. So, Brianna, you're next. Now I'm throwing you under the bus because I'm the host and I get to do that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I'm a Christian. I believe in God and I believe in Jesus. I believed my whole life, but I'm just now starting to go into a deeper study of it and a better understanding.
Okay.
But I'm still very new. I'm what they consider a beginner. And yeah, but I love everyone. Let's just put that out there.
That's
Everyone's
good.
awesome.
That's good. That's
like
good.
anyone.
That's good.
Don't
That's good.
apologize for your opinion.
I am not apologizing for my opinion.
Okay.
I'm just saying I love everyone.
Yeah,
just not you right now.
You don't need to be
Damn.
nice about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you don't need to be nice about it.
What about you?
Nothing.
Nothing? You don't
No.
believe in anything?
No.
Nothing like different galaxies?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are different galaxies.
Well, then you believe things. Well, I know that, but, like, do you believe those things
Well,
then? And
let's-
so there has to be a higher thing.
Let us define what belief that we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
What is belief? Do I believe in there are other galaxies? No, I don't believe there are other galaxies. We know there are other galaxies. We've seen them, and we'll never be able to get to the other galaxies because they're millions of light years away and they're just too damn far. To put it into perspective, which is incredibly different and difficult to do over audio, you know how far it is from here to the moon, right? It takes approximately 2 weeks in a space shuttle going 1,700 miles an hour.
Damn.
That's slow.
Well, right.
I can run faster.
In the long scheme, in the big
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
of things, it's
So
super
slow.
slow. It's the speed of smell. It doesn't get any slower than that. And then Mars, it took us how many years to get there?
I'm just gonna guess, say 13.
Yeah, it took a damn long time. And then to I believe it was Voyager 1 just past Pluto-ish. It's going on to the Kuiper Belt right now.
Yeah.
That's 40 years of traveling at how many hundreds of thousands of miles?
Yeah, you
an
already
hour.
lost me, but okay.
It is so expansive, it would take millennia upon millennia to get to another galaxy. It's not even worth the traveling. It's not even worth traveling as a species to get out of the solar system. What I'm trying to say. We don't necessarily believe in galaxies. We see the galaxies of what they were however many light years before, since light takes that long to get here. So I don't necessarily believe in them. Belief is a hard thing to really nail down. I believe in humanity, as far as that's going, it's hit and miss. Humanity really is. It's kind of a toss-up.
What for a brown girl like me in Duluth, Minnesota, where it's 92% white?
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Equality, equity, I feel it everywhere.
Well, that's good. That's how it
She's
fucking
being a
should
smart
be.
ass.
And I'm sure you
I'm
are.
being a smart ass.
She really is.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, no,
Humans are stupid.
humans
Yes.
are very stupid.
We are.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people are religious is because they need to, well, they don't need to, but there are core beliefs in all these different religions. And so that like ties into humanity. So like in the Ten Commandments, we either get these really good people or really bad people because people can abuse religion. Other communities don't abuse it. And they don't like say slavery was good because God said it is, or like gay people are horrible because God said it is. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that is, as a humanitarian side of it, that's some pretty horrid stuff. Take the
Yeah.
Westboro Baptist Church, what they're doing. They are, I know, they're
Yeah.
stupid.
I'm very, very against them. I do not like them.
And you know, the sad thing is like people are expecting you or other people who are religious to say that, and it's not like you have to say that. It's like a decent human being thing to say like this is wrong, because why would you protest soldiers' funerals because of gayness?
It doesn't go hand in hand. There's no correlation between a soldier dying and how gay the United States is,
Yeah.
which is something small, like 10 to 20% of the entire population.
And that's the population that have been surveyed, and some of them have said that they haven't come out of the closet, and some have. And so the people who haven't done the surveys probably are in the millions upon millions upon millions and upon millions. If
Yeah.
you think about it like that. So there is some bad sides of religion in the sense of like closeting people from being who they are, and then there are really good sides of religion as well. We should also talk about the good.
Oh, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Religion does good things. It really does. And it more depends on who's actually being the leader in any
Yeah.
shape or form, whether it's religious or politics or even the community. If your leader's a scumbag, the community is going to be a scumbag. And we can point in fact, look at the Middle East right now. Their leaders out there are scumbags, and we know this because we've seen people getting their hands chopped off. We've seen people getting their heads chopped off for doing nothing than uncovering their face or speaking out against the religion.
Saudi Arabia, there's this big protest that's going on where women will drive without their husbands and just will drive by themselves, and then that's like an act of tyranny. I don't know the word.
It is basically sedition upon the state of Islam in that.
What about that pink cab that they have there? They now have a pink cab.
How did you hear this?
It was on the internet,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was
okay.
it was a pink cab, and it is driven by only females, and they pick up only females, and they will refuse to pick up any men because they're worried about these women's safety traveling in cabs in these Middle
honestly,
Eastern.
I've heard about that they have done something like that. I can't say that that's the safest or smartest thing to do,
It's
but it
not-
really is sticking it to them, saying this is not blasphemy. I'm driving a car. It's like riding a fucking horse.
It's actually way more important than you think.
No, it
Driving
is.
and like
It is.
mobility.
It
right?
is
Yeah.
very important.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong,
Okay.
but from our perspective over here, like, yeah, you're driving a car. That's awesome. Good. You should be. But over there, like,
that is a huge thing.
It is a huge thing. And the men over there who are controlling all this bullshit.
Hypermasculinity.
It is. It is just, it's stupid. And it's maddening that they're actually doing this to people.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, though.
Fuck. God
you good?
damn it.
Are you good now?
No.
Okay. Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you believe in like a higher power at all,
No,
or you
none.
don't believe in anything?
Zero. There is nothing else out there but us.
That is good to know about my brother-in-law. because I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like aliens, I'm sure, but that's all speculation.
I had
Aliens,
a dream
I
about
believe, are
aliens last night.
Oh, fuck that. Nope.
I have
Woke the fuck up.
my boyfriend was on the couch and I woke up and I went out to the couch and I was just like, I need you to cuddle me right now. I had a bad dream. And he's just like, okay.
Just getting the sweats and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's, fuck that. Alien dreams, man. Scary. It's
I dream
probably
of swamp monsters, so
well, that's not any better.
I know, but that's
I
what
mean,
I...
swamp monsters are real. We know that from our conspiracy theories
Yes.
episodes. Which you should totally check out if you're still listening.
I don't know the name of this podcast.
That's okay. I don't even know it either.
He's
Kidding.
got a shirt with a really weird character on it.
Okay, let's talk
Actually
about
fucking love
God.
Topic.
Topic of month podcast. Never
What
not
if
inappropriate.
God was one of us?
You are so strange.
Just a stranger on a bus. Let's talk about God.
There we go. That
You're
was
up
actually
then.
pretty decent.
Thank you. Okay, so, Bree, what are the common misperceptions of your faith and what it's like to be in the community that you are with your church? Because there are different churches in the city of Duluth, and I have noticed that people will go around to figure out what their favorite church is to go to and feel comfortable. So could you just explain a little bit about that?
So the church I go to is really small. There's maybe 20 people in there. And it is, like you said, it's a community. It's family. I feel safe. I can be open. I can talk about different things. Some things have happened in my past. And I never really felt comfortable talking about that. And I was able to talk to my pastor about it. And he helped me in a different way to get over it than my therapist previously could not do.
Did you try searching for another therapist?
I went through multiple different therapists,
Okay.
and I couldn't. It wasn't connecting for me. I just couldn't understand it. I don't know.
Didn't blend well.
Exactly.
I cannot relate on the topic that you're talking about, but I do understand what you're going through and trying to find a therapist that works. Not to hijack the little conversation, but
Thanks.
trying to find a therapist that is also non-religious is hard.
Really?
My
Yes.
therapist.
There are not many non-religious therapists.
Is that a really big thing for you? Is not having?
No. See, it doesn't really matter because that subject doesn't come up.
Yeah.
But if it were to be passed on to me from the therapist, it would be a deal breaker right then and there. However, the North is generally more secular, religious overall, but less secular in their outwardness. You go down south and it is Bible everywhere.
Yeah.
Isn't it called Bible
It's
country
the
or
Bible
something?
Belt.
Yeah.
It
Bible
is.
Belt. There we go.
I have a question. Are you spiritual or are you
No.
not not at all?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay. So were you ever religious in your life?
No.
Okay. Were you ever gone to Sunday school or?
No.
Okay.
Didn't your mom say you did?
As
When I talked to mom when she was
not
in...
so much like a Sunday school, but babysitting,
Oh.
maybe 3 or 4 times. So it wasn't much. It was the family church that my extended family on the Briggs side went to, and still continue to go to the the congregational. I don't know. What
Oh,
it
is it the one... Do they have one in Duluth?
No.
Oh, because there's one kind of that sounds similar to that by UMD. But
Is it in Virginia?
yeah.
No, it is not in Virginia. we actually didn't live in Virginia, but you people out in Virginia,
You rock.
people.
Yes.
I don't know what it
Way
was.
to judge
but,
people.
Are
know.
is this
No,
gonna
I
turn
didn't.
into us versus them then?
versus the Virginians,
Yeah.
it might.
Duluthians.
Yeah, the Duluth
We can
ones.
handle the cold.
Yeah. Suck it up, Virginia.
Well, see, back to the actual topic
Yeah,
that we were
sorry.
talking about.
After
Sorry.
I hijacked it again.
So I have my pastor who has helped me out tremendously, but then I do still see a therapist. I don't see her very often anymore just because of the fact that I work every single day of my life and I don't get any days off. But I do see her. And she's good. She couldn't help me fully accept what happened to me and me and her talk about what's going on in my everyday life. but I wasn't able to get past what happened. And my
Right.
pastor was able to help me get past it. But when I talked to her about going to church, she was actually really cool. She's like, okay, like I don't know if she's religious or not. She said some people are religious and some people say that helps. And if that's what's going to help you,
Yeah,
then that's
definitely.
what you need to do.
110%.
And it was awesome because I don't know if she's religious or not. And I kind of get this feeling she's not. But at the same time, I don't feel judged for being a Christian or wanting to go to church. But then there's situations where at work where I feel like me trying to get time off to go to church is abandoning where I work. And
I think
had
it's
to
ridiculous, and I get so upset with it.
I had to sacrifice my time to go to church, something that I believe in, something I want to do that makes me feel better about myself. And I can't because then I'm abandoning my work, and I have to sacrifice all of that just so I can be at my work when everyone else gets to get time off for whatever they want to do, which is drinking, smoking, and that's what I want to do. It's like, great, I want to go to church, so fuck off and let me go to church. Like, come to work and work your shift.
Understood. Are you not being able to get that time off from the boss? Or is it that people call in and basically say, fuck off?
I think it's the second one.
People call in?
It's calling in. It's being short-staffed. It's...
Technically that is religious discrimination in
Yes.
that he's not letting you get the time off. However, if you are willingly coming in...
That I get. I
Yeah.
get that. It's just, but at the same time, it's like sometimes I feel like he's not religious at all. And so I feel like sometimes he makes little snide comments, in which I just got to the point where I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Like, fuck off. I'm just done with you. And I've told him that actually a couple times.
That's fair.
But it's just to the point where it's like, I feel guilty. You know me. You know I hate saying no to people.
Yeah, stop feeling guilty.
And so when I can't help somebody out, I feel guilty for not being able to help out the store. But it still gets to the point where it's like, I had to ask somebody, we gave somebody some time off at work for religious purposes. And I literally had to say, I need you to work this Sunday. And he's like, why? I was like, because I want to go to church. Like, I'm helping you out. And I shouldn't say this, but I need this time off. I've missed church for 3 weeks because I've had to work and I need to get it off.
Oh,
And
that's
he's
fair.
like, okay.
That
That's
is
all he said.
definitely
He said,
fair.
okay.
The thing is, like, with him, he understands that, and like because of his situation, like understanding the Jewish calendar, which is oh my god, it's crazy.
You pick a day, it's a Jewish holiday.
So like that was the issue, is like just trying to figure out the times. Figuring out the times, and like the nice thing is that he understands that, and that's super great. And I think if you ask him to like maybe take Sunday mornings as a shift, because
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk. But it's hard because
there is that discrimination, and like I don't appreciate that.
it's kind of annoying because
Yeah.
I do sacrifice all of this time and I don't ask for time off. Ginka, I don't ask for time off.
So this weekend we got so busy, and I was just like pushing it off, like trying to call Bree because I know she gets called in every single time.
Every single night I get called in almost.
Yeah. And like I had a random bus and I was not prepared for it because they didn't call in ahead. But like I push it to the side as much as possible so Bree doesn't come in, because I know how much she comes in and does things. So it's very frustrating that like she's trying to get Sundays off to go to church because it's her religion.
And it is my constitutional right.
It is.
No, it is
It's
not
not?
your
No.
constitutional right. It is your constitutional right to be religious.
That's
It
what
is-
I'm saying. But
it
I
is
can.
not your constitutional right to get a day off.
No,
because
no.
of your religion.
I thought, isn't it a discrimination to?
It's probably I should have grabbed my laptop.
I thought it was like kind of against the law to say like if you ask for time or if you ask for like I need this day off because of church, then I thought they were
It's-
supposed to give it to you. And I could be wrong. I don't know. I've always thought though.
It is not in the Constitution for that. No.
Okay.
It is not in the Bill of Rights, neither.
But it is
if
my
was in the Bill
constitutional-
of Rights. It would be in the First Amendment. Fun fact of the day.
Okay, never mind. Then my point is invalid. But you get the point. My
There-
other point
there are-
is I would like to go to church, and I can't get that.
There are laws that help people who are religious who need those days off to go to these certain religious things. Because Sundays, in a lot of religions, are certain days like for Sundays, it's your day off. It's your day of rest. Fridays to Saturdays, it's a day of rest. I think for the Jewish religion. Judaism. I don't know for sure. Please don't quote me on this. I'm still learning a lot.
Let's see. So so we've kind of covered our what you believe in a little bit. We have been getting a little vague, but that's okay. So what do we got for background in religion, if any at all? Bree, I know you mentioned that you essentially grew up Christian.
Mm-hmm. I grew up Baptist.
So you grew up Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
which is essentially a different sect of the Christianity that you're in currently.
What I go to now, it's we don't consider ourselves Lutheran or Baptist or anything. We consider ourselves a Christian. We don't want to segregate ourselves to one particular thing, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just more of a variety. Like we are more Lutheran based.
That sounds very Minnesotan.
Oh man, there's hot dish over there constantly.
But there actually isn't. I haven't had a hot dish yet.
Uh-huh.
But
Lutefisk.
yeah, there's a lot of lutefisk. But yes, I grew up being raised in a Baptist household, but I never learned. I would never felt anything. I mean, I grew up in it, but I never understood it. It didn't make any sense to me.
So you're a what do they call them? They call them lazy Catholics. You took on the name of Christian or of Baptist, but there was no practicing of it.
Yes.
Oh,
like-
that's such a horrible thing to say.
It's like being a lazy Jew. You call yourself a Jew, but you're not Jewish. Like you don't
do it.
practice it.
Well,
No, but like when you say that, like say yourself you're a Catholic, it doesn't. Like this is where I get a little tripped up on like religion is like sometimes you don't have time and like some people are like, well, you should make time, and in our society we are always going, and like with Bree, this is what she does, but she still believes in it, and she still is like proud, and not like proud because like pride is dangerous to say, but like very like
I don't care what that people think I'm a Christian.
You're welcoming of your own religion, and at the reason why I say you're welcoming is because you are willing to talk to people as well, not
Yes.
just like say no, you're wrong.
No, I will listen to anybody's opinion, but then at the same time you have to respect my opinion in it. Like
I disagree with that
why?
because you don't have to respect somebody else's opinion.
But you should listen to it. You shouldn't have to be rude
listen
and
to
yell
it.
at them about their opinion.
Depending on the opinion,
Well-
like if it's just like hate filled, like
Well, yeah, but if I'm sitting here like right today,
yeah.
okay, sitting here with you two,
Yeah.
with two people who are atheists, right? Is that the correct terminology? I don't know. what you guys-
I think I believe more than he does.
Okay,
Self-described, yeah, secular humanist.
okay, secular human.
Atheist, you
Okay,
can just say that. That's
thank you.
fine.
That's a better
You
word
can
for me.
use the shorter of the nomenclature.
Thank you. But we can have a peaceful conversation. Granted, I know all of you, but
I don't know him.
okay, I know both
That's
of you. So.
okay.
Keep talking, Brie. Sorry.
But we can have a conversation about it, and you guys understand that this is my belief. You don't have to like it, but this is still like what I believe in.
Right.
And I try to do that with anybody. I try to do that with people who are whatever they are, like if they're gay, if they're bi, if they're
Trans.
trans, or if they're Jewish, or if they're an
Yeah,
atheist,
those
or
damn Jews.
Hey, what is this balderdash?
but generally I try to do that. I don't like being that person.
Balderdash. That's a word I haven't heard in ever.
Yeah. I just no, that's kind of like that's like I just don't like when people make fun of religions in general.
Well, I'm real good at it.
I know. No,
but we still love him. Well, okay, I still kind of love him on days.
Kind of. It's a toss-up. It's a coin toss.
Just for this podcast.
Mainly when he fixed my car.
Be less.
Maybe.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, continue. No, I agree, but I think that comes a little bit more down to your character as a person rather than what defines you as your religious belief.
Yes, because I know some people who are at my church, and I could wear a shirt that has a little falls off the shoulder, and she will march right up to me in front of people and tell me to pull my shirt up. Because nobody needs to see that. And it's like, it's a shoulder. It's not going to do anything. It's a shoulder.
Wear burqa. Please just wear burqa.
That is next step.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, there are certain people, there are people at my church who do that. But that's personally who I am. I'm not going to do that. That's just not how I am. That's also definitely not how my parents raised me to be.
No, you
have to, there's like this, it's like a spectrum of religion, right?
You should look a certain way if you're a certain faith, right?
Well,
it depends on how strong your faith is in any religion, because you can do the same thing in Christianity as well as you can do in Islam, as well as you can do in Buddhism. I mean, there's
a spectrum of like how far you are willing to go. Not to like say that you are religious, but like to show. And there are some translations or interpretations of everything that makes it sound like you should be more conservative, you should wear more, have a lot of children, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something that I do have a rather large problem with, is the interpretations of the Bible, or do they take it literally? You can do one or the other. You can't do both. You cannot cherry pick interpretations, and you cannot take it, and you can take it literally. You can, 100%. You're an asshole if you do, because that's what Westboro Baptist Church does, essentially, minus the stoning. But if you take it, if you interpret the Bible, then you can kind of interpret any other book to mean whatever it is you want it to mean. It depends on whatever the interpretation is. If you interpret something to be good, that's fine, but you have to look out for the bad things that are there as well. For those that don't take the Bible literally, I think those are more Christian light. You're light in terms you believe in the faith, but you also understand that it's not good to go out and stone people to death. So you take the good things out of the book that you're putting your faith into.
Okay, so with like the stoning part, these texts are very, very old. Like there is evidence that there are these texts that they've been translated, they've been moved from generation to generation, lost languages kind of thing, and so throughout the years, like if you read a different translation of the Bible, it's gonna sound a little bit different. And like the commentary in Torah, so what happens in Torah is that they have the Torah and then there's commentary, and so there are different rabbis quoting, monks, rabbis, like different kind of like quote unquote historical figures. I don't know if.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, and then also like the time eras, like the punishments have gone down by a lot, child labor laws, all that.
Oh yes.
So it also comes with like the time era as well, like what's popular, and it goes down and down. And like with like Judaism, it's mostly of like trying to progress as a society and looking at our errors and flaws and like discussing that and like questioning.
Right. If there were a religion that I would pick, it would be Judaism. I won't be able to ever be a Jew, but because I'm not Jewish by culture.
You can still
apply for it, but man,
sounds like a lot of paperwork.
No, it's not a lot of paperwork. Yeah. You have to be very dedicated. You just have to study Torah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there is a lot to be, like, I could go out tomorrow saying Christian, I could go out tomorrow and saying Catholic, but actually being not just culturally Jewish, but Jewish by faith is a lot more difficult to do than say, I'm going to have a Bible in the house and therefore I'm Christian. It's a matter of practicing it more so in the Jewish faith than it is in any other thing. But yeah, I agree. There's a lot of different translations depending on the book that you have. There's a lot of languages that have been lost, and everything was written by hand. It wasn't photocopied and copy and pasted and redone and retranslated and brought back to life and then lost and then so on and so forth.
Was found.
The New Testament was found, and there's this version, this version, this version, and this version. But yeah, it is. It really depends on which version that you're going to follow as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got?
Can I tell you a story about actually this man who was born Jewish? Yeah. And he became a born-again Christian. But he walked into Herbert's and Gerbert's, and I was just like, oh, are you from Temple Israel? Because he was wearing his kippah. And he's just like, no, I don't go to Temple Israel. I'm like, oh, okay, so do you go to the other temple? And he's just like, no, I'm a born-again Christian. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's just like, well, I can't go to Temple Israel because the rabbi there is gay. And he's just, no, he didn't say gay. He said a homosexual. And that he likes homosexuals, but what he's doing is wrong. And, like, the thing with, like, the Jewish faith is that the rabbi is a teacher. And so this teacher teaches you, and he teaches, and he learns, and he teaches, and,
right.
and listens to that. And it was just, like, this, like, mind-boggling thing. Because, like, he was born Jewish, is born, again, Christian, and then can't support this rabbi because he's gay.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest moment in my life. And then he started to ask me, like, what my boyfriend looks like. And I'm just like, this is getting really uncomfortable. And then there was this horrible rush, and then I had to call Bree.
Yeah, the rush came. Oh, good. It's not uncomfortable anymore.
Oh, those are like the best days when you have an awkward conversation. All of a sudden, people walk in. It's like, oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, the day
awkward conversation.
The day after, I told Bree about the situation, and she's just like, good thing there was a rush.
Right.
Yeah. No kidding. So let's go a little bit further. What happens after we die?
Oh, I love this.
This is always a good question.
Socrates actually is just like, why fear death? You don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah, that's one thing. Judaism is just like, we don't know what's going to happen next. We should just live a good life. God is great. Woo. And then the Catholic Church is like, okay, so you have to go confess your sins. And
here's all the rules and regulations
for
for
in
Catholicism.
Judaism, right now it's high holidays, and so this week it's about, like, the new year, and, like, not repenting, but, like, saying your sins, and, like, saying, I'm sorry, kind of thing, and just, like, having that day to be, like, be aware of your sins more, instead of, like, every single week. And, like, purgatory, hell, heaven. What was that sound?
Oh, it's probably the dogs, I'm sure. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I can't cut it out, so it's just going to be in the background of dogs howling.
That's great.
Sorry, people in Virginia. He has dogs.
Yeah.
Duluthians have dogs, too.
We do. They usually die every year in the cold, and then we have to go get new ones.
That's bullshit.
It's true.
Complete bullshit. Don't scare the Virginianites.
Anyway, you were saying, Ginka.
What was I saying?
About the
Death.
Jewish.
Oh yeah, so Jewish. It's mostly like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Why worry? Live life right now.
Right.
Catholicism is more of like, you have to repent. You have to pray, be baptized.
Yeah, do the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
You looked at me. That you have to accept Jesus Christ.
You do, but in the Catholic faith, you get baptized as a baby. You don't get baptized as an adult.
I got baptized when I was in 2nd grade. I could have gone to hell. Actually, there's a book that I'm reading. It's called A Interview with a Jewish, a Christian, and a Philosopher. It's Peter Abelard. He's the author. He's a philosopher. And he was talking about sin and, like, what happens if you're a baby and you die and you didn't get baptized in time. And you would go to hell, right? And so he talks about that and like how like that's really silly because you were born and you like,
subsequently died right after
yeah,
birth.
like that. That is a silly thing to say, and so he like that's like the conscious and unconscious sinning. I wish I brought my book to go more in depth with it. But
Fair enough.
yeah, I'm taking 4 philosophy classes this fall, and it's great.
Good job. Philosophy is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we know my position on it already. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Lights out. That's it. It's like going to sleep forever, except you don't get to dream. Which some might find terrifying. That is it. That there is nothing else after the life that you have conscious. However, that leads many atheists, mostly secular humanists, to see that this is the only life that we have. Therefore, we must make it as good as possible and help out as many people as we can. Which doesn't just include only secular humanists. This goes for pretty much everybody because most people actually do that. They make everything good for themselves and everybody else as they can. But as a secular humanist, that is our essential philosophy. Be good to everybody else. Don't be a dick. If you're a dick, stop.
Yeah, Aiden, stop being a dick.
No, I'm an asshole. There's a difference. But you don't remember anything for the billions of years, the billions of billions and billions and billions of years before you were alive. Why would there be anything after death? I mean, you're not going to know anything about that then.
I say just listen to Socrates. Don't worry about it until you're dead.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's a long nap, then you're sleeping pretty damn well.
Yeah, you're not going to know what's going on
Yeah.
anyway, so there's no point in fretting about it. Just be a good person on Earth.
Could we talk about euthanasia?
Yeah, we can.
And the religious sides of it, I just got really excited about euthanasia. That's kind of weird, sorry.
It is a little weird to get excited about euthanasia.
I like talking about dignity, death with dignity.
Totally for it.
And there are these cases, physician assisted suicide, and
Yes.
then also euthanasia, and
Doctor-assisted suicide.
Words.
Yeah.
Dr. Death.
Okay,
Let's
okay,
just call
Dr.
it
Death.
Dr. Death.
Angel of Death.
No,
There we go.
no, Angel of Death is euthanasia, actually.
Angel of Death is, I'm talking about something different, but okay.
Okay, so the Dr. Death is mostly about if you are dying and you know you're going to die in the next 6 months, you have the choice to do it your own way. And so
Yes.
what happens is the doctor gives you a bottle of like the medication that you would take to die. And you can just choose whenever you want to die. There's actually a video on YouTube which I want everyone to watch. It's
Older guy, his wife, the doctor, and his daughter?
This is Brittany Maynor. She's in Oregon and she had this brain tumor and she knew she was going to die. And
Young woman.
Yeah, young woman.
Okay.
It was a huge thing, and this is why I want to talk about this, is that there were people who used religion to, like, say, you can't kill her, she's a human, and stuff like this. And then in my mind, I was just like, but she's going to suffer, and why live your life that way?
But suffering brings you closer to Catholic God. At least they think so.
I mean, like there are forms of suffering which are, I guess, considered good suffering, like if you don't know suffering, then how do you know good? Something like that, in a way.
I can understand that philosophical argument.
Yeah, but like the suffering, this physical suffering, where like it's like with people with Alzheimer's and really late stages
of them? Yeah.
Yeah, and they just can't go to the bathroom by themselves. They're in so much pain. They're confused. They just are a vegetable. Are they living life? Or are they not?
No, but then that's when you get good people who actually care about a person's dignity.
Yeah.
Where you try to make it the best that you possibly can, whether it be that you're a
secular humanist,
or you're a Buddha. I mean, you just do whatever you can to make those people's life the best that they can. And I get where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, it's I believe that it's, granted, this is where my opinion kind of differs, because I respect your
Don't
opinion.
apologize. Just say
I'm not apologizing.
Damn it, Brianna.
be that asshole.
Yes, it's your choice if you want to make that choice. But in my opinion, it's suicide.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things. I don't believe in suicide, which sounds weird considering I deal with depression. But I would never kill myself. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I have moments of self-doubt where I feel like, what is my purpose? Mm-hmm. But I think to myself, but that's just me.
But that's a little bit different because you don't have brain cancer.
No, but they can have people who can make the best of their possible life.
But
at the same time, that's their choice. And who am I to make that choice for them?
It's also just like, I want you to picture like someone dying of brain cancer, someone who, and you might have experienced that, or if experienced someone who's died because of Alzheimer's. There are people who, like my grandmother and I have talked about this, where like if she has gone way too far, she wants to find a way to like.
Right. She wants it out, so I would assume if I was in that same position, not be a burden unto anybody else.
It's
and
not,
therefore have my own freedom to choose when I die. Because at what point do you say, I will not have a good quality life? I will not be in a conscious state of mind to be able to make any other sort of decision. Would I be conscious in any shape or form? What defines my own consciousness? I would imagine.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not your grandma, so I have no idea.
What?
No, I'm
Judy.
I'm a 30-year-old white guy. Surprise!
My grandmother's white too. I'm adopted, everyone. I'm foreign. What?
What do we need a sad trombone there too? Wah, wah, wah.
Are you saying being adopted is sad? Failure to thrive? If y'all know what that is, damn, you're smart.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. So, Bree, we didn't really cover your what happens when you die.
Yeah, what happens? I'm really interested.
I'm actually really interested. I just like knowing about what people believe.
So we actually did a study of this at church too, recently, like last month. We actually did a whole
super recent,
like 4 to 5 weeks of just studying what would happen. And before I used to think that kind of what you said, you fall asleep and it's nothing. And I'd get this really sick feeling in my stomach where it's like, I won't do anything. Like, what am I supposed to do with my life? What's the purpose of it? That's when I was very depressed, by the way, if you can't figure that out.
No, that's fair. Revisit it though when you're not depressed.
Yes. But in my opinion, what happens is you have a tribulation. You have the Antichrist comes, and there will be a war for 3.5 years until he goes into the endless pit, and then
Purgatory, essentially, I would imagine.
Yeah, because there's like 2 different stages of hell. There's the lake of fire, and there's the endless pit. That's what we are told in the Bible, at least, because no one actually knows for sure because we have not been there.
What? I've been to hell and back.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Michigan.
I mean, Dean Winchester has, so.
Oh, yeah, Hill, Michigan? Yeah, I'm good. Virginia, look that up.
Anyway,
Don't patronize my only listeners.
I just really think it's funny that, like, the majority of the listeners are from Virginia, and we're from Duluth, freaking Minnesota.
No, not even anybody in Wisconsin either.
No one in Wisconsin?
Well, my co-host does, and he's the only, 33 downloads. It's just him. Anyway, sorry.
So then
Hell and brimstone.
Yes. And then after, you will have the believers who essentially they fall asleep. That's all they do. They just fall asleep and their souls go up in heaven and they get judged. If they're generally what I believe is when we're at that stage where we're all going up to heaven, God takes the believers.
Okay.
God takes the ones who, goes to heaven. And
no, it's fair. It's fair.
and then you have the certain ones who are left on earth who preach the Bible for those 3.5 years to the non-believers to try to get them saved, to try to have them go into heaven instead of into the lake of fire. And then you get the final showdown with his Jesus, and then you get Satan, and that's when all that stuff happens. And then we get 1,000-year reign. God comes down on, it's heaven on earth. God creates a new heaven and a new earth, and it's all one. And we get to have kids, and we get to be married, and we get to still live our life, but it's all peaceful. You don't get second guessed by what you believe in. You don't get people judging you for what you do, because God reigns, and it is his heaven and his earth that we live in. And it's going to be a peaceful time. And then after the 1,000-year, which is a little sketchy, which I might need to actually read up a little bit more on, because I'm still not too sure about this. But when we have those kids will actually follow Satan comes out of the hole or the endless pit, and he words come to me. Help me finish my statement.
I'm foreign. Sorry, your reaction is so great.
So
I can't help no habla español. Well, I don't even know. I just sprechen Sie nicht English. I don't even know.
You see what I have to deal with at work every day?
Foreign.
And she lives across the street from me. It's awesome.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, keep going, Brianna.
But essentially, then you have 1,000-year reign, and then God demolishes the earth.
Okay.
And he creates a new world, and I don't know what happens after that.
This sounds like before Eve ate the apple.
Kind of, it does actually.
Yeah, it's taking away the
Paradise
chaos
on earth, essentially.
Yeah.
Well,
But that fills me with more, and I know you said not to use this word, but I'm going to use this word since she prepped me for this interview last night. It gives me hope that
That's
I can,
fine.
when I die, I mean, I'm dead. I get that. I'm not going to deny and say, oh no, I'm living and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be dead, but I get a new body and I get to live, and I get to, my biggest thing is I was afraid that I wouldn't see my family. And Aiden, you know me. You know how important my family is to me. And I was always scared that I wouldn't see my family. And if my family,
Well,
are
I
believers,
won't be there.
well, no, you won't be there, which, I mean, that's whatever. It's just you. But
Oh, brutal.
I'm not worried about it. I mean,
Well, okay, so
I'm
what
not going to see
happens-
her ever again when I'm dead. So
you will miss me.
is what it is.
You will miss
I
me.
mean-
You
I
might
mean-
not know it, but you will miss me.
Okay, so weird, hypothetical of, what if. Okay, so what if you go to heaven and you're like, oh, one of my things in heaven that I really wanted to do is see my sister's brother, Aiden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so...
Here I'm worried about pronouncing your name wrong.
It's okay. It took me 2 years to figure out how to even spell his name.
Yeah.
I still
She
spell
spelled
wrong.
it Doug once. I don't understand. It's not even my name.
I just spit all over your microphone.
That's all right. There's spit on it already.
Okay, so,
But anyway, when I get to heaven,
Oh,
I won't feel. I might.
but how do you know? How do you know? Because you've never been to heaven.
That's true, and I hope that I will feel at peace, because in the Bible it says that you will feel peace. You will be home again.
But okay, so my question is, if you don't feel at peace because Aiden's not going to be there,
Well,
does
it's
that
just
mean
Aiden.
Aiden gets to go to heaven? Damn. I
Yeah.
just want. I'm like, if I go to heaven, I expect all my friends to be there, and we're gonna have a dance party like Finn and Jake.
But I don't have that answer for you.
Yeah.
I don't study that. I have what I believe in my opinion, but I don't study it, and we don't have all of the answers of what's going to happen. God doesn't give us all of the answers. I
Yeah,
honestly
he
would.
did though. He did, because Eve ate from the Eve had an apple.
Knowledge.
Yes, but we don't have an answer to everything. Like, we don't. Like, we have the knowledge of good and evil. We know what's right and we know what's wrong, but we don't have the answer.
Subjective, though.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and I get that, but we don't have.
We have no knowledge of the hereafter.
Yes. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, so would it be fair to make your own hereafter?
Like, what do you mean? Sorry, it's a big question, but what do you mean?
If we have no knowledge of the hereafter and everything is speculation before we're alive and after we're alive, when we're dead, when we're non-existing, when there is nothing else there, can we make our own hereafter? Can we design an afterlife? Or does it have to be strict rules and regulations based upon one God? Or is the hereafter based upon Muhammad? Or is the hereafter based upon Ra? Or is it based upon Horus? Or is it based upon Buddha?
I have no idea. I don't know.
My favorite interpretation of like what heaven was going to be like is in The Lovely Bones. And if you've read it.
No.
Okay, so this girl, she I think is like 13. Her name's Salmon. And she goes to school one day, walks back home. This guy rapes her and kills her. And so now she's in heaven, and it like shows like what she wants. And then she also sees all these other like events that are happening after she dies, and it's really interesting. And I kind of like the idea of what heaven is.
Sure, no,
it's an idea though.
That's a happy, fun time idea.
Yeah.
It really is. It's very
but, like,
Pixar.
It's not kind of
a little bit.
Yeah.
Except for the death part, but you know.
And the rape part.
And I mean, there's that too. That's probably more so.
Yeah.
Because you're experiencing the rape part. You're not really experiencing the death part.
Well, yes, but in that story, she was experiencing.
Well, right.
The death part.
In the Pixar story, yes. What was the book?
The Lovely Bones.
The Lovely Bones?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually middle schoolers read that kind of book, so.
It's good to get them prepared for life then. Holy Jesus.
I mean, let's talk about the rape statistics of children who are under the age of 13.
Can we not in this conversation? In this,
yeah.
please.
Let's skip that.
I don't want to get too depressing tonight.
Okay, I'm sorry. I get really excited about stats and depressing things.
It's because you're weird.
I like to learn, and I want to be a part of the Department of Education, so I make teachers culturally competent about certain issues that children are going through, and making sure that those children have the same abilities to succeed in life as the other children. End of story.
And we should keep them away from the Catholic Church. Just saying.
Actually, you know that there was a big bust about child sexual abuse with the Catholic Church in Duluth Diocese.
Mm-hmm. There was one down in Minneapolis, St. Paul, about 2 years ago as well.
There was just a recent story of one of the Pope Francis's like right-hand man. That's probably insensitive. Sorry, I just don't know the words.
What, one of the bishops or something?
Yeah, one of the bishops in Australia who dealt with finances actually got in some legal trouble, and I think is dealing with the legal issues right now about child sexual abuse as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
nobody's getting convicted. It's so bogus.
I know. And also there was a movie last year, the year before, at Zeitgeist about the sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. And then on top of that, what was I going to say?
I have no idea. Words?
Yeah,
I'm
words.
sorry. I'm not foreign. I don't know. Hey, you said it first. It's fair game. I don't know what that means.
Good.
You just signed at me.
Yeah, I did.
Not a clue.
Sorry, I was really hungry.
So, for you. Right.
There's. I was gonna ask if you've ever seen the movie Doubt with Meryl Streep at all. Doubt. It is really good. I saw it with my grandmother when it first came out. My grandmother just looks at me and she's just like, "Why do we always watch the strangest movies?" Because like
it's got Meryl Streep in it. I mean, it's probably a little strange.
Like I was like 12 at the time, and so
I'm really offended by that comment. By the way,
what, Meryl Streep is strange?
Yes.
Do you identify as Meryl Streep?
No, but she is my icon, my hero.
No, it's good. I mean,
I love
Cruella de Vil is pretty cool.
Cruella de Vil. Okay.
Telling you.
So doubt is about these two nuns. I think Amy Adams isn't it? It's just a random guess now. They're both sisters, nuns. If you don't know what that is, and
Don't know what that is. You haven't seen Sister Act then.
I actually saw it. I was just like, what's going on? But so I watched Doubt, and it's about these nuns that have this doubt, this idea that this priest is sexually abusing the children. And at the end, Meryl Streep like backs him up like to the end, and then she starts crying, and she's like, "I have doubt," which it was a cool movie to watch, entertaining.
Kind of familiar-ish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen it with Meryl Streep. I haven't seen anything since Dalmatians with Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Wasn't she?
You haven't. She's pretty good. She's in Mamma Mia. I know you probably not like musicals then.
I mean, they're okay. We're a Rocky Horror Picture Show. And
He loves...
Rent and-
What was that? What was it? 27 Dresses?
That movie
Was that the movie
really
that Kendra
dumb.
stole from me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
he
stole it from
secretly
me.
loves that movie.
No, I don't like Kathy Heigl. She is not a cool person. I have nothing to base that upon either. I just don't like Katherine Heigl. So, all right.
She kind of got to my nerves with Grey's Anatomy. She was supposed to be written off as like part of a storyline, and she just like showed up. I don't know if this is true. I got this off the internet.
I would imagine it'd be.
Because nothing
I
on
heard
the
she's a
internet is
dick.
true.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Let's get into a little bit more religious stuff, since that's what the topic is. I'm gonna have to chop this up a little bit, but that's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Bree, you're up. Ask away. Ask a question. Something that you've been wondering about anybody.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Okay, if you guys stop whispering that, and I might not be afraid, but...
Don't be afraid!
Oh my god. I'm gonna let the dogs in for 1 second. I'm gonna actually hit pause.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No. Alright, we're recording again, so that way we can... Oh, fuck. I should have made a note. That's alright. Ready, set, go.
Okay, go. What are we talking about?
I don't know. I left it upon you. I don't know if you actually thought about a question that you wanted to ask somebody about anything.
No. You get to ask a question, Brie. I'm excited.
Used a phone call to figure out my question.
She used a lifeline. You have two left. One is the audience.
Okay. Because I honestly didn't know what
to... Yeah, you're not going to get very many answers from the audience of cats.
How would you guys explain the beginning of time?
How would you explain it?
What? But I'm supposed to ask the question.
It is a regressive question.
Yeah.
Let me explain. It is regressive. The answer, if I were to ask you, that would be God did it.
Yes.
The answer, if I were to give you, would be the Big Bang. Now, you would ask, where did the Big Bang come from? Well, it just is and always was. And therefore, you would also give me the same answer of,
do you realize
God
why
did
I
it.
didn't want to ask a question? Because I don't know the right question to ask.
Don't ask a pre-prepared question that many Christians give in trying to figure out what it's all about.
Just ask like a question that you're just curious about.
Yeah.
You're not going to offend us, and if you offend us, it would be pretty damn hard, because I don't feel like you can be offended that easily.
No, I really don't give a shit.
Unless he's talking to my mother.
No, I don't get offended by you talking to your mom.
Awkward.
Not at all.
Okay.
I get offended by talking to her.
I don't get offended. If she wants to come on the podcast, I definitely bring her on.
No, not happening.
I would enjoy having a podcast with your mother.
Yeah, I would not.
Be like,
I would be.
You cannot hang out with Ginka, damn it. Like that.
So then I honestly can't think of a question to ask.
What do you want to know? What are you curious about? Something that I or Ginka might be able to answer for you. I mean, I guess.
Do you guys... So I was raised, in the Christian faith.
Right.
Okay. But Ginka, you were, right?
Yeah,
Correct?
I was
So
baptized.
What made you not believe?
Oh, wait, joke time. If you want to get unbaptized, you just rub yourself in a towel while you're dry. Okay.
You're such an ass.
We're done.
That's horrible.
But so then, how did you? So Ginka was raised with religion.
Yeah, Catholic.
Okay.
Catholicism.
And you don't believe.
No.
Aiden, you weren't raised with anything, and you still don't believe.
Yeah, pretty much
So-
nothing.
But you've
When you say nothing, you mean everything.
Yeah, well, pretty much not everything, nothing. It's a very convoluted question. I know. How did?
So, do you want me to give you my
Yes,
background?
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, my background was mostly I came to America. My family told me, "Hey, we're Catholic, so we got to do this Catholic thing." Not like that, but I was thrown into Catholicism. I was thrown into Catholicism, and my experience is a little bit different because I'm this brown girl from a different country, and I was adopted, and I didn't know much English. A lot less now. No. Well, you can see the. Okay.
you don't know even how to speak words, but okay.
Words.
I don't know words, but you do know hand signs.
Yes. I know. So, it was a very interesting experience because for a while I was like that doll. I was like, I could be this perfect Catholic girl. And then there was also this experience where people started to bully me, and those people that went to Sunday school with me bullied me in school as well. And so we were being taught to be nice to each other, be kind to each other. And I would listen to this, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, being kind to each other seems reasonable. Treating people with dignity and respect, awesome. I had some instances where I was talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and how awesome he was, and they got really mad at me for saying that I shouldn't like Martin Luther. I'm like, but I was like, why not? And they're like, he's a bad man. He started Lutheran.
Yeah,
Lutheran.
Martin Luther. He created
And I was
the
just
Protestants.
like, yeah, and
and
they said that
Lutherans.
to me. I'm like, but I was talking about Martin Luther King Jr. And they're like, well, he practiced not Catholicism.
I'm pretty sure Martin Luther King Jr. was Christian, which is still an Abrahamic religion. But I understand where you're coming from. I agree. It is wholly retarded. It is just dumb.
Thank you.
I don't understand.
So did you just kind of start like?
Well, and then I would ask these questions, and I would get shot down all the time. And, like, so one time I was like, what's the Virgin Mary? Why is she called a Virgin Mary? What does virgin mean? And everyone was dead silent in the place because it was just like I was talking about sex. But the Virgin Mary is a virgin, so you kind of have to talk about freaking sex because when you're talking about someone being a virgin and having a child... there are some complicated things like so you can have sex and not have a child, or this is how dangerous it was because like it didn't really go well with like the sex education as well because they were so afraid to even like say what a virgin was.
I would imagine there would be zero sex education in any shape or form.
That's okay. My mom didn't want
me.
me to have any
Abstinence
sex
only.
education.
You have to have sexual education.
She did not want me to. She wanted me to. Actually wrote a note saying that I don't want my daughter in this class, and I ripped the note up and threw it away. So
Did you
I
know-
was curious. I wanted to go, and I didn't want my mom to make that decision for me.
It is dangerous to not have sex education. I think Texas is a very
Yes,
good
I was just gonna say that.
good representative of not having sex education. Yeah, those STDs kind of suck, and those teen pregnancies.
Is it higher down there?
It is
Ew.
way higher because they got rid of sexual education in public school. Now, you can do whatever you want in private school as long as the parents are paying for it, but in public school, you should honestly have it. When they got rid of sexual education, the amount of teen pregnancies went up, STDs went up, HIVs went up, AIDS went up, everything went up. Correlation equals causation in that sense. Without knowledge and intelligence on a specific subject that is so matter of fact, like sexual education, your life can literally get destroyed by it. Because if you're having a child at 12, your life is done. 100%. It is over with. You can put your child up for adoption. Don't get me wrong.
But you're always going to live with that decision. You're always going to have that child out there. You will always know they're out there.
Not only that, but it also puts more of a problem on the public down there as well as far as tax dollars, because now they have to take care of a child from birth to 18 paid for by the state.
Well, what gets to me is that, like, there are so many children that are born with teenage pregnancies, and so they sometimes aren't able to take care of them, and so they're put into the foster care system, which is a lot of money right away. And then also there are so many children into the foster care system, and one of the reasons is because of the lack of sex education in Texas. And then there's also the abortion issue as well. And I know abortion is very touchy for people, but there are people who know that they are unable to have that child, and who are aware of like certain issues with like putting someone up for adoption, or their social economic status.
Yes.
The skin color even goes with it too, because like there are issues with like people, like I worry that if I have a child who's brown, they're gonna get a little bit discriminated because of that, because I'm brown.
And unfortunately, they probably will be. Hopefully, that will come to an end in the future. But
It is really stupid. We're all human. Doesn't matter what
Yeah.
color your skin is.
No,
You
exactly,
are a
doesn't-
person. It doesn't matter. It just that bugs me. I don't like race. I don't like racism.
no,
I
is
hate it.
retarded.
It is.
I mean, obvious. Well, yeah.
It's just like when people, honestly, like, what gets to me are the racist people who like to tan and then preach religion down my throat. I'm like, you are not even listening. I'm a better Catholic than you are, and I don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, at least I know how to be ethical and how to treat people with dignity and respect. And, you know, Jesus is just like, love everyone. And then the Rule of Benedict, which I go to the College of St. Scholastica, and we talk about a lot about Scholastica's brother, Benedict. And the Rule of Benedict is a huge thing. It's the first like sentence is, listen to the ear of your heart. Like, they're teaching you compassion, and you are ignoring that by being a racist asshole.
That is the first time you've sworn on the podcast. She needs a round of applause.
You know, I swear all the time. Today, in my philosophy class, I was just like, yeah, that sounds like an asshole thing to do.
I'm going to say damn today. That is like weak sauce as far as swearing goes on this podcast. Brianna, did you want to continue on your question?
I was just curious on what your opinion was. Like, did you just never... You know about it, like you know about different religions,
Sure.
And did you just have no this sounds weird, but did you not have any interest in knowing, or because you can study something and you don't even have to believe it,
Right.
because I'm really curious
sometimes.
about the Greek gods.
Okay, so I have a question. So the Greek gods.
You suck, Ginka.
But did you have a question that you were gonna ask?
I was trying to ask.
Oh my goodness,
No,
I'm
that's
so sorry.
totally fine. I want to see where this goes.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so Greek gods. You don't believe in them, right?
Did they ever exist?
Yes.
Did they exist?
This is slightly.
My question is about, like, you believe in God, but then you have the Greek gods.
Mm-hmm.
And before the Greek gods, I forget their names, but there were other gods before that, and then gods before
Like
that.
the Egyptian gods and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Pagan
Pharaoh.
gods and Hindu gods and
Mhm.
the Buddhist god and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Yes.
So, like, my question is, like, what makes you so sure that they are wrong and you are right?
See, this is a really good question for my mom, because my mom has done a study on this, and so this is kind of what I've picked up off and on. But those Greek gods are Nephilim, which are angels came down and had babies with females, with women, and they had power, and so God used those Nephilim as
It's in Genesis chapter 6, 1-4.
Sure, I can't pinpoint this in the.
This is on Wikipedia.
Anyway, I understand what you're trying to say. Angels came down.
And so those Nephilim were different gods.
Okay.
Okay, Greek gods. They could be any kind of god. They could be the Greek gods. They could be the Hindu gods. They could be whatever. They were Nephilim. They had angelic powers, but they weren't angels.
Where did they come from?
Nephilim?
Yeah.
They came from angels and females making babies.
But angels.
Yes, angels were created by God.
Have angels been like talked about in the Bible explicitly, like when talking to Mary? 'Cause
I have no idea.
Oh well, that's the Second Testament.
The question that I suppose I would have on this subject is if they were created from angels, Zeus and his whole Greek faction over there, would he spout... Zeus and all the Greek gods had their own "you worship me" and
Yes.
only me. And if we're going along that line, then under one of the commandments, thou shalt not have any god before me. So all the people that were worshiping the Greek gods as deities, not of Christ, and this was way before Christ, are they now in hell? Right.
I don't know.
Okay. So
From my understanding of it, is that one reason why they had the great flood, the big flood, is because they were, in a matter of speaking, they were getting too much power, too much where they were losing focus on God and more on themselves. They were getting selfish, and God didn't just I'm now going to kill all of you. In a matter of speaking, I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but
no, if you're following with the Bible, God murdered every single person on earth except for Noah, his family, and 2 of each animal.
Yes.
There's a difference between murder and kill, and I feel like God just killed.
Yes, sorry.
No, I would say murder if it's done willingly.
Okay,
If he willingly flooded the entire world, he murdered every single person.
They were gods. They were just demigods.
Okay.
They were Nephilim. In all essence, they were Nephilim. They were children of angels.
Okay, so that is the Greek gods and then the demigods and then and then now the Nephilims with the demigods and now turn into Nephilims and then those Nephilims are demigods?
Essentially, yes.
Oh, okay.
If I may ask a question,
You may not.
Vishnu
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
or
about.
any of the Indian gods, with the lady with the 8 arms, or the elephant god that they have out there. What about the Native American gods that they had? They didn't really accept Christianity, though. I mean, in any shape or form.
But that's where I'm not too 100% sure, because I also believe that they were demons.
Okay.
They were just straight, flat out demons.
Are there demons today?
There's a song about demons from Imagine Dragons.
It's a good song.
I believe that the demons, they don't, they're inside of you, but they're not physical beings.
So it's like a humanity kind of...
Like my ex-sister-in-law, okay? She was crazy beyond belief. Beyond belief. I personally believe... Sorry about the background noise, people in Virginia.
And then then I went to this thing called Tech, Teens Encounter Christ. It's Episcopalian, actually. Can never pronounce that word right. Sorry, Techies. And the main purpose was just to learn about unconditional love. The Greek word agape means just this unconditional love, no matter what, towards everyone. And it's very difficult to follow, but it's what to show these new candidates that come in and are unaware of the whole entire program. And then once you go through your first time, then you become the people that show that unconditional love to those candidates. And that was one of my experiences, and I really enjoyed that experience. I have a tattoo of the word agape because of that experience.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it was a really, really wonderful, beautiful experience. And then I had right now I'm going through another religious experience with Judaism because my boyfriend's Jewish and he believes in God, and so I go to temple and listen to the services. I'm going to celebrate high holidays with the Jewish community in Duluth, and that's going to be really exciting because I've never gone, and I'm very curious. And then, like, with Judaism, I'm reading a lot of, like, Catholicism, Catholic stuff, along with other different religions, and so it's really cool that the rabbi there is, like, letting me, like, look at the books, look at the Bible, look at the commentary, look at other readings.
I find that I thought that would have been a little taboo for somebody who's not Jewish to be able to open the Torah and the rest of their holy scriptures that they may have. I don't know. I was just under the impression.
Well, I think if that was the way that they do that, I think that's very silly, because if you want people to know about God and learn about Jesus, and Jews
They
don't believe in Jesus.
They don't believe in Jews. Sorry, I meant to say Jesus.
No, they do believe in Jesus. They just don't think he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's more of a learning thing for me, and that's what I love about Judaism. It's learning. It's learning and more as time goes on, as long as you're living. So, I think they're welcome to that. And then I have really good Catholic friends who are very Catholic and follow that line of religion as well. And so I would go to the Newman House, which is a church kind of thing on the UMD campus, and would go to some of their services as well in the beginning of my college career.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of covered the first question that we actually had, was what do you believe? Kinda. I don't think we've really nailed anything down for what you actually believe.
I don't really believe in anything. That's the thing. It's just like, but like when I say I don't believe in anything, then what does that mean? Like there's nothing, and I'm not worried of like trying to figure out that answer. I'm more worried, I'm not worried at all. I'm just more of like curious of like these different beliefs and where this all goes to, and like what are there are similarities in religion. What are the similarities?
Many.
There are many similarities, which I think is very fascinating. And then there are also like the years upon years of like ancient Greek things. There's stuff like that as well, and it's just so fascinating to read commentaries and to see what people think.
Right on.
I guess so. And I guess the people that I surround myself are so willing to let me learn. So,
which is kind of good.
Yeah,
I would suppose
which is
that
backwards from Sunday school, where like people were very
forceful upon it, and
forceful, not willing to like ask, answer, or have a discussion with me about like these questions. They probably thought I was a smart ass, but I wasn't. I was just curious.
Yeah,
I'm a very curious person, so like it's the what if questions. It's a metaphysical question where it's not meant to be answered. It's more meant to be discussed, I think.
Yes. Cool. It's neat.
What about you? Well, we already talked about you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you don't believe in anything.
No, not really.
No.
Maybe the human condition, but then again, that's more of a humanitarian philosophical standpoint.
Yeah.
On what does it mean to actually be conscious and human but as far as a otherworldly presence, no.
Okay.
I have not seen any sufficient evidence to back up any kind of claim for any deity or demon or god or anything else like that. It is not present, and as far as I'm concerned, probably never will be. There's a scale that Richard Dawkins has. It's on a scale of 1 to 7. I don't know if you might know this or not. 1, absolute certainty there's a God. 7, absolute certainty there isn't. I'm like a 6.
Okay.
And
Just smack him. Just smack him.
Violence is not the answer. What would God do?
yeah,
Smack him.
yeah. What would Jesus do?
Smack him.
Smack him. Okay. Yeah. I don't find that there's any sufficient evidence in any shape or form across the entire timeline of humanity over the last 100 to 200,000 years of there being any deity at all. It is in my opinion that any claims thereof They are unfounded and based solely upon what they want.
But so you're okay with, or I guess it's whatever, but, you're kind of are you in support of people who have those beliefs?
I am in support of nobody who goes around killing them and killing people.
Yes.
Rather, I am not in support of beliefs or any sort of idea or system that is used to hurt anybody else for any shape or form, most of which is hidden behind an ideology of religion. Do people kill in the name of religion? Certainly. Do people kill because now they have an excuse to put that upon religion?
Most definitely.
Certainly. Yes.
But like we said earlier, it can be a source of community.
No, it definitely can. That is something that many people without faith really do envy, is there's that sense of community. There is some place that you're able to go basically any time, usually on Sundays.
I will tell you one thing. If you go to a church, it is the one place you will be judged the most.
Oh, definitely.
And that's one thing I can't stand. I can't stand I get to I said earlier, I'm not judged. I'm not judged at my church. But at the old church I went to, you were constantly judged on everything.
You're judged at your new church. The lady who tells you
okay, yes. But
next time, give her a stone.
A stone.
Give her a stone.
Next time I'm going to say, look at your daughter.
But that's fine.
No, I don't think that will fix anything. I think it's more of just like, why is this important right now? We're talking about Jesus and God loves me for who I am, so...
It was just a simple clothing mishap. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like
it's not that it's a mishap.
She's one of the reasons.
No, it was actually the shirt actually fell off my shoulder. And
so it was okay, an actuality of gravity.
Yes,
okay.
It was. But the thing is, she was just on that point, like pull your shirt up, and I'm kind of like.
She's one of those crazies, though, and I don't want to say that to people who are religious are crazy. I'm saying that people who okay, I guess we're that because one person has said it. She's the voice of every religious person in the whole entire world. Thanks, Brie. There's a dead mosquito. I killed it. Yay.
She killed something.
Okay.
The Jainism people would be so ashamed of you right now.
Well, I have my moral beliefs and they have their moral beliefs. And if they want to shove their moral beliefs down my throat, I will tell them no.
They can have the mosquito.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, mosquitoes. Okay.
Anyway. But it's just, yes, it's the sense of community.
Oh, now I know.
There is a lot of community.
The woman who commented on your clothing, that is not important.
No.
It was highly inappropriate. It shows that she might be insecure of herself, because it's just like, why are you so worried about this person who's trying to get closer to God? And her shirt fell down her shoulder? God damn.
It depends on how she interprets the Bible as well.
But that's when I want to say, look at your daughter. Because if she's going to criticize me on how I dress, she should really look at her own daughter, who dresses very differently for church. I generally dress more respectfully, except for that my shirt falling down. But her daughter does not.
Yeah.
There's been times I've looked and I'm like,
that's
okay.
That's a poor societal standard is what it really comes down to in my eyes.
It's sexism, too. It's just like, there's no need to worry about what you're wearing in a church or like any religious setting, because the main purpose is because of religion, not because of what you
want to learn. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever you may believe, you want to learn. That's why you're there.
I mean, it's like the school thing. Like, if someone's shirt might have gone slipped down their shoulder, they're like, I didn't mean to do that. I was just trying to learn. Or like they're showing their shoulders. It's not.
It's a distraction for the men out there.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? People using that argument of it distracts men.
That is. There was so much behind this that I would have to break it down into a book to be able to go into the idiocy of why this is happening. First and foremost, it is normally men that are commenting on what women should wear. Number one, they are doing that so they don't have to look at them, so they don't get aroused, and they can't act on it because that's what they are put into a corner that their religion says you cannot do this. You cannot act on your sexual urges because sex is a sin. No, it isn't. It is
that's
natural.
That's not just a religious thing, too, because look at the position of teachers. Just like in general, male teachers are telling women, girls, you can't dress like that because
I had more female teachers and female faculty comment on my clothing and a lot of my friends' clothing than males. But
Yes.
I've had creepy teachers, not professors. My professors are pretty cool, except the one that got arrested.
I got one who had to go arrested in my school too.
Mr. Shikes at Denville High School, call him out, Virginia Nights, look it up. I was walking and I was wearing this really cute outfit. It was on point, and he was just like, in his creepy way, like, you know, there are creepy ways that people like will say you look nice today, like, you know that it's not like this, like, oh, you look lovely today, your outfit's cute. It's more of like, hot damn, you look nice. And it was so uncomfortable. And like, I was there because I was going to an interview for Student Senate, and I dressed in this nice pencil skirt that was bright orange, and I had this yellow shirt and this blue bright blazer, and it was like this,
She was the rainbow.
no, kind of. I was kind of a rainbow, but it was
Just needed purple shoes.
but like, I like that outfit gave me so much confidence into my daily activity that day, and it was just like, I'm not there to get hit on. I'm there to be my own individual at
Right.
school. It's the same with going to church and being your own individual and learning about whatever you're learning.
Yeah, it is not there to get harassed by somebody who's older than you, and it doesn't really matter what the sex is, but normally it is by man. I mean, that's you don't really hear about women doing the same thing to young men.
No.
And if you do, then
Well, I'm just saying those saggy pants can end at any point in time.
well, yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry.
I don't really care what you wear, but it looks silly. But what if I can do it on whatever? It's just looks silly. But then again, beehive
wear your-
hairstyles look silly, and that's just.
Be who you are.
Yes.
Do you, boo?
But yeah, I agree. It is generally a male-dominated thing, which they tell women what to wear. We can see this across the United States, more so in the South. We can see it in the Middle East, with all the women wearing burqas, being covered head to toe in black sheets with barely anything to see out of. It is so the men can repress their sexual urges. It is not up to the women to disguise themselves as a potato sack so the men don't get turned on. It is up to the men to have self-fucking control, something they
I love
don't
this man.
have. And it is bullshit that they keep on putting this oppression onto women. You're oppressing half your entire fucking population because you got hard and you can't act on it. Maybe if you rubbed one out every now and then, you'd be fucking-K instead of having to oppress all the women in your life up to, what is it, up to age, after the age of 12? Prior to that, they can, wear essentially whatever they want. But once you hit that age, you have to be covered head to toe. Fucking bullshit. No.
What makes me so upset is that like a woman's body is so like scandalous and sexy, but yes, that women's bodies are beautiful. Why don't you just admire it and be fucking respectful about it? Like, there's a difference between being admirable and like admiring a woman's body or a man's body, and not being a fucking creep about it. Like,
I will point out somebody if they look male or female, if they look nice. I will say she's really pretty today. There doesn't mean I can tell a guy he looks very handsome today. Doesn't mean anything by it.
but it's not just that. It's more of like not restricting or like trying to hide someone's beauty. I think because like everybody's body it's beautiful, and it's a shame that people feel like they have to hide either from self-conscious reasons or from oppression or just
it is essentially painting a gorgeous looking picture and then covering it forever,
and it's a shame.
And only the owner getting to see it, but he brings it to the museum and hangs it up. Or she brings it to the museum. Doesn't really matter which sex it is. If you're covering it up and you're not allowing it to be free, then you're taking that beauty away from humanity.
But you still have that issue in France where there's this woman who was wearing a bikini and didn't want to show her skin, and the French police came up to her and was like, you need to wear less clothing. Like, that's uncomfortable as well.
That is a situation where I agree with her.
Yeah. It's a situation.
But it's their choice if they want to do that. At the same,
It's exactly it. It is their choice. If they are choosing it because that's something they want to do, not because something that their religion or their culture is telling them to do, then that's fine.
there is a song. It's called "Most Girls." It's by Haley Steinfeld.
Who?
Haley
Yeah.
something. It is a good song. It pretty much talks about like, let me be who I am. If I want to dress conservative and something covering me, then let me. If I want to, she made at one point, if I want to dress very, with nothing
If you want
on,
to dress
that's,
like a slut, dress like a slut. Nobody fucking cares.
and that's the thing. And it's pretty much, it's an empowerment to women to be who they want to be, not because
Exactly.
of what society wants you to be.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to dress like a slut, I fucking will. I'm not gonna. 'cause
I don't want to see you dressed like a
I
slut,
don't
to be
want to see
honest
dress
with you.
like a slut. Banana hammocks are not my thing.
Maybe your wife would like to see you in a banana
I don't
hammock.
Don't
I really
know.
hope so.
I'm gonna ask her. She comes down. She get banana hammock in the Christmas stocking. Like,
I know what I'm. Right?
oh,
I
Virginians.
know what I'm telling Kendra to get her.
Banana hammock.
Okay.
I have a question for everyone. Well, mostly Aiden, because I already asked.
Can we
Bree
buzz
this.
in?
Yeah. Would
Why am I
you
asking? I'm the
rather feel hope or feel happy?
Dependent upon what?
Just would you rather feel this emotion or?
Do I get both, or is that it? Is that it conclusively?
It's conclusively. So, what do you rather? Question.
Hope for what? Happy for what? Can I have those terms at least defined? Like,
No.
is hope for something in the future, or happy for something right now?
See, that's what you had to figure out. What do you want?
I would rather have hope.
Okay.
Because I'm just this little speck on this earth, and I would rather have hope for the entire humanity that we get our heads out of our ass and continue to progress as a species upon this planet and in this galaxy, in the solar system, in this universe. If I'm happy now, I'm happy in the moment, and that's going to be right about it. Brianna's tired, and that's
I'm really tired right
I'm
now.
just having so much fun.
we can cut it.
Yeah.
Well, that was our first episode, part 1 with Brianna and Ginka. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, apparently, at A Topic a Month. You can email us hate mail at atopicamonth@gmail.com. I don't know when this episode is
Have you gotten hate mail?
No, not yet. I keep hoping. But I don't know when this is going to show up in December, so happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and Merry Christmas, and happy holidays for all the secular people out there.
You said holidays. I'm so pissed.
I know I'm
I
going
am
to get
triggered.
sued. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have
a
fun.
good night.